Qinghai Province in northwest China is known as the water tower of China, as three great rivers, including the Yellow, the Yangtze, and the Lancang, originate. It is also a place where a lot of ethnic Tibetans have been calling home for centuries. So what are some of the most recent measures they have been taking to make sure that people in the lower reaches of these rivers and people of future generations can continue to drink unpolluted water? Welcome to a special edition of The Point with me, Liu Xin, coming to you from Xining, the capital of Qinghai. My guest today is Dongzhou Qunpei, Secretary General of the Snowland Great Rivers Environmental Protection Association. His goal is exactly to safeguard the purity of these places. Dongzhou Qunpei, welcome to The Point. Can you first of all help us understand exactly what it means for Qinghai to be the place of source for three biggest rivers in China, the Yangtze, the Yellow, and the Lancang, which continues to be the Mekong River, which feeds a lot of Southeast Asian countries. How important in terms of ecology of Qinghai?
Sanjiangyuan, which means source of three rivers, is home to the headwaters of the Yangtze, Yellow, and Lancang rivers. Countless water sources and rivers flow together and eventually converge, forming these significant and large rivers. The Sanjiangyuan is the largest national nature reserve in China, and the Sanjiangyuan National Park is located right within the nature reserve. The three rivers are widely regarded as the Chinese population's primary drinking water sources. Some can say that approximately half of China's population depends on the water that originates from rivers originating from Sanjiangyuan for their drinking needs.
So it's not just a water tower of China, but also that of Asia.
Yes, and it's not just the Chinese people. Sanjiangyuan is seen as the water tower of Asia, so more than 2 billion people are directly affected by this important water source. Before taking on the name Sanjiangyuan, we call this area Jiangheyuan, or the source of rivers. It's because many important rivers flow from here into numerous other countries.
So when you took up the job as Secretary General of the Snowland Great Rivers Environmental Protection Association, how was the situation? How urgent did you find your job to be?
At that time, our main efforts in the area were to develop skilled individuals involved in environmental protection and water conservation. With global warming causing glaciers to retreat and underground water in permafrost regions to diminish, there is a growing concern about the depletion of water sources. However, the residents in the water source areas haven't fully grasped the concept of a water crisis. They still feel a sense of security as living in these regions, believing that even if water scarcity becomes a global issue, there will still be water in our water sources. However, during our interviews with local residents, many shared stories of the water sources they depended on in their childhood now drying up. Yet, they lacked a comprehensive understanding of the exact magnitude and severity of the water depletion. This realization stressed the need for a thorough investigation and deeper comprehension of the situation. Among these villages, we identified 4 water sources related to the 3 main rivers. We collected data on over 6,700 water sources from these 4 villages alone. Considering the scale of 50 villages, it is remarkable to imagine the abundance of water sources and rivers that form the 3 major rivers in the Sanjiangyuan region. During our research, we found out that more than 700 water sources in the Lancang River water source area had dried up completely. We didn't know in which year this happened. In our interviews, an elderly person in his 80s said, "When I was a child, there used to be water sources here, but now they are gone. After realizing this, we came to know that the people in the local communities and throughout the entire Qinghai Tibet Plateau are directly affected by the consequences of global warming. This region is one of the most vulnerable areas to climate change worldwide. The newfound awareness prompted a great emphasis on the water source depletion problem. Investigating water sources is vital for addressing global warming. Through these surveys, we aim to raise awareness about the importance of preserving water and the environmental conditions of water sources. During our data collection process, we encountered instances of water sources drying up due to climate change. We also came across water sources drying up due to severe white pollution in the area. Some water sources were not given enough attention and were damaged by road construction carried out by certain project teams.
Has it been difficult to persuade the local people that they must protect this land?
Our goal is to preserve these water sources not only for our generation, but also for future generations. Our main objective is to protect the environment and ensure the safety of these water sources. However, we've realized that involving people with a strong emotional connection to the water sources might be more effective than relying on those without such a connection.
You have been implementing a project called Zero Waste, literally meaning that the local people do not consume products that will leave waste, especially plastic waste, in the areas where the great rivers originate. Now you have reached to 2 of the 3 rivers, and you have reached over 1,000 people, over 220 households. Exactly how did you start that idea? Why did you think it was important?
The project aims to protect water sources currently facing pollution from plastic waste. About 30 years ago, the Sanjiangyuan area had minimal garbage due to the lifestyle of the local residents, which was closely connected with nature. However, over the past few decades, industrial development and changes in people's lifestyles influenced by the media have resulted in more garbage, particularly disposable food packaging and utensils. People now use disposable bags and chopsticks, consume packaged and carbonated beverages, and discard empty bottles, contributing to a significant increase in white waste pollution. The people residing in these critical water source areas have the power to both protect and potentially harm the water sources. We so thought, did this happen due to people's mindset? We began telling local people that white waste should not be thrown away. We weren't sure whether local people lacked environmental awareness or were simply uninformed. I found out that 30 years ago, the everyday things that local people used produced little garbage, whether given to them or used by themselves. They drank boiled milk, which came from yaks. Even when they had esteemed guests or visitors, they made milk tea and served it. So harmful, unhealthy, or environmentally damaging food wasn't around that much.
What's the biggest obstacle for you in carrying out this project?
最大的困难就是，其实是一种人们怎么去选择一种生活方式，这样的一种概念。
The real challenge lies in how people choose their way of life. Should we embrace a nature-friendly and sustainable lifestyle, or opt for a destructive approach that goes against nature? To make the right choice and to change people's perception pose the biggest project implementation hurdles. I believe it's not just our locals, but many others face this challenge too. The environment we inhabit has never asked for anything in return. We have lived on this land for generations, and it's important to appreciate and protect it. This concept is easy to grasp. In the past, there was a harmonious way of life that revered nature and respected all forms of life. This mindset has always been ingrained in our local culture. It may seem like we're under a lot of pressure, but the real pressure is on the local people who actually adopt these zero-waste lifestyles at home. Out of over 220 households, not a single person is unwilling, passive, or forced into it. Everyone willingly and actively participates. Their culture, beliefs, and their mindset play a major role in their choice. Once they develop a correct understanding of the material world, they realize that they are not sacrificing their current development by going zero waste. They're actually opting for a better and healthier life. For them, zero waste living represents a leap into a new era, a lifestyle that people should embrace and choose in this new development phase.
所以他们的概念里面，现在就是说，零废弃生活方式好像感觉是真正我们进入新时代的一种，这个发展之后的老百姓应该享受的一种生活方式和选择的一种生活方式。
During the process of rolling out this project, what kind of collaboration has there been between you and the local authorities? What kind of interaction has there been between the two sides?
其实在这个里面，我们就是推动这些的时候，就是应该来说，先是这个政府这边，他说我们有一个。
When it comes to pushing these initiatives, the government got on board, addressing the problems of white waste pollution and the pollution and damage to water sources. They recognized the importance of the issue. They recognized the worth of our ideas. We worked closely with village leaders at the community level. We went door to door to interact with the residents. Unlike agricultural regions with close-knit communities, the Sanjiangyuan area is vast and sparsely populated. The distance between households was considerable. To get our message for a healthier life across, we had to wait until after 8 p.m. when residents finished herding. To promote zero waste, everyone in the family needs to understand the concept and get involved. It's not enough for just one person to grasp the concept. That's why we waited until they returned from herding, so that the whole family, including children, elderly, and young adults, could be present for the sessions. Sometimes our visits would stretch until around 11 p.m. This phase was quite difficult. The government played a vital role in organizing personnel to implement these initiatives. They worked closely with village leaders and enlisted the help of local environmental officers, known as environmental protectors. We relied on motorcycles for transportation in areas where cars couldn't access. The local community and government provided the motorcycles, and we would ride to reach each household. This greatly facilitated our work.
这些人的摩托车，然后坐在他们的后面，就走到一户人家一户人家，主要就是这个部分得到了非常重要的一些支持。
Although the ecological state has improved or environmental situation has improved, but has that brought direct impact, especially improvement, to local people's livelihood, especially income?
因为零废弃家庭的这个最关键的一个人就是女性，因为她负责家庭，所有的饮食吃的这些东西是妇女来去完成，所以我们这个零废弃家庭实现以后，很多生活里面他们原来用的这也不是真正原来用的，就近几十年用的一些生活用具。
Women are crucial in implementing zero-waste households. They were often responsible for household chores and food. Transitioning to a zero-waste lifestyle means replacing many household items, including substandard plastic containers and bags that pose health risks when storing food. When we interviewed some women, they said, "It's easy for you to talk about zero waste, not using plastic or disposable bags. but it brings a lot of difficulties and inconvenience in our actual lives. We also identified necessary new items like water containers, yogurt containers, reusable bags, thermos cups, bowls, chopsticks, and handkerchiefs. The estimated cost for these supplies to support the zero-waste lifestyle is around 1,500 yuan per household. Although they no longer drink sodas or other packaged beverages, they can still enjoy freshly squeezed juices. Some locals even bought juicers. This shift to healthier options improves the locals' quality of life.
它虽然不喝饮料，碳酸饮料，但是它可以喝榨汁的饮料，还一户人家还配了榨汁机。哎，老百姓感觉哎，原来真正的健康饮料是这样喝的，就那种不是碳酸饮料，它不喝那些健康有害的东西，但是享受了更好的一些生活。这是第一个层面。第二个层面说，哎，刚发了一个物资，对它长期的经济带动又怎么办呢？
Additionally, we promote economic growth by producing handmade products like yak butter soap, lip balm, and yak wool and fur. Renowned artisans and designers provide training and guidance to create a series of products. One community generates an annual income of 500,000 yuan through these product sales. The community has become self-sustaining and offers a new and upgraded development choice that is both environmentally friendly and economically beneficial. If we don't give up disposable items, we may never want to stop using them. By giving up disposable items, we can choose safe alternatives for both humans and the environment. Going zero waste requires a new systematic development direction and model. We also started zero-waste homestays. Instead of each household running a homestay, we have 138 households, jointly operating one. This way, we avoid some potential disputes. Everyone is happy when they collectively manage a homestay, and it also frees up some labor, since resources are limited.
我们共同经营一个民宿，不要一户人家经营一个民宿，到时候又形成很多的经济的利益的这个纠纷。大家都经营一个民宿的时候，大家都非常开心，那资源有限，一部分的劳动力也可以解放出来。
What kind of inspiration do you think your projects can provide to areas that face similar heritages and challenges?
我们从自己的感受层面来讲的话，就无论换到任何一个环境、任何一个地方，我们现在提到的就是说，我们说山干净、水干净、人心干净。
Based on our personal experiences, no matter where we are, we value clean mountains, clean water, and pure hearts. Our goal in any development model is to protect the environment and people. Approaching tasks with this mindset leads to innovation and new possibilities. While we don't have specific plans or suggestions now, we deeply respect and appreciate nature, knowing it's not just for us, but for future generations too. It's not about depleting the resources for our own pleasure. Therefore, with gratitude and a selfless mindset, we aim to maintain our original purpose when choosing how to live and develop. Our practical experiences have shown positive results so far.
到目前为止，我们自己的实践经验里面看到的都是一个比较好的一个结果。
So your goals are attainable, and you'll keep trying.
对，我们是希望能够这样的路是持续下去。
Yes, we want to keep going because what we've accomplished already brings us so much joy, delight, and bliss.
更多的开心。
Why wouldn't we stick with it? If it's that
那这个
amazing,
既然这么美好，既
beneficial,
然这么
and
健康，既然
enjoyable,
这么好，我们为什么不持续性的去做？